my name is Lexi Rogers. I'm a four-year senior here. And
Kelsey Camilo, four-year senior as well.
what I first want everyone to do is just think about the last person you met, last person you waved to, said hi to, smiled at, interacted with. Just think about it. Okay, so raise your hand if that person was maybe in the same grade as you. Okay, raise your hand if they were the same gender. All right, raise your hand if you know if they maybe were in the same socioeconomic class as you. Yeah. Okay, were you friends with that person that you last interacted with before that? Raise your hand. Okay. Maybe was it a teacher? Raise your hand if it was a teacher. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay. Well, basically, clearly we have a lot of diversity at Taft. We have different genders, we have different ages, we have different races, different socioeconomic backgrounds. But how much do we really know about this diversity that we have even here at Taft?
All right. We consciously and unconsciously make decisions every day. But how many of them actually push us out of our comfort zone? Not many, probably less than half. Being at Taft, we have the opportunity to explore diversity and move outside of our comfort zones. We should take advantage of these opportunities, and when we come across differences, we should be open-minded in order to learn and grow as individuals. You guys might be thinking, here we go again with the talk to people you don't normally talk to, yada, 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 advice. It's easier said than done. But why don't we all typically follow that advice? Maybe it's true. Maybe a peer sitting right here in Bingham Auditorium could change our life for the better if we simply engaged them. Or maybe we could learn more about our identity through meeting people different from us. And why is it easier said than done? Let's not overthink the situation. We simply have to push ourselves to step out of our comfort zones and try talking to different people. Honestly, what's the worst that can happen? So, what's diversity? Well, the dictionary definition, as stated, says state of being diverse, variety, range of different things. The definition doesn't really get us anywhere because it's too vague. So, we have broken down diversity into various forms or types of diversity that we would like to share with you.
So the first one that we all know about is sexual orientation. Sexuality exists on a spectrum that is commonly labeled as LGBT, meaning lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender. But we often don't know that sexuality also can mean pansexual, polysexual, omnisexual, asexual, and even those who don't really identify themselves by any labels in the first place. At Taft, diversity in sexuality means going past simply being aware of these various distinctions, but creating a safe environment where more students and faculty can feel comfortable openly expressing themselves and being out of the closet. Socioeconomic class. Socio refers to the social construct within society. Economic refers to the actual financial component, and status refers to the power hierarchy. Like, combining these three words make it very easy for people to form stereotypes within different people of different economic backgrounds. Diversity in socioeconomic class comes from the cultural implications of living amongst people of different backgrounds.
Okay, race and ethnicity. Many people don't understand the difference between race and ethnicity. Race is a social construct, such as black or white. Ethnicity is more related to one's culture. Think about when you take the PSATs and SATs, how many people were able to check a box that they were satisfied with?
Raise your hand. Like, how many people in that box where it says, right, Caucasian or Pacific Asian or black, like, how many people, like, actually knew what they should check? The problem is that not everyone raised their hand. So.
Culture. Taft's student body is comprised of individuals from over 33 countries. At best, we may learn the names of some of our peers' countries, but never engage or ask them about what their culture entails. Or even more for those of us that are from the United States, many of us think that we do not have culture. But if you really sit and think about it, we all identify with a particular culture. In order to celebrate our diverse community, we should individually and collectively heighten our awareness about the various cultures that exist within our Taft community.
Age. Diversity. Diversity in age means bringing people together to share the different experiences we all have at different stages in our lives. We all know, talking to our grandmothers, they have a different perspective on how teenagers these days live. And at Taft, we are slightly divided amongst each other by our grades. Anyone who's been cut in the jig or even in the dining hall knows what I'm talking about. Also, consider that we even leave this very room divided by grade. The seniors leave, then the juniors leave. We have this thing called seniority. Even in life, we always have seniority for senior citizens. Diversity in age means going past this and coming together to learn from the people who are at different phases of their lives. Gender. Diversity in gender means able to socially accept both genders equally. For example, at Taft, we changed the system for head mons so that we can have both a female and male. Also, in the dining hall, the genders are we often see that the genders are separated, girls sitting with girls, guys sitting with guys. And even with the head mon situation, even though we made things equally, how do we really feel that we are accepted equally, that the fact that we have to change things?
All right, so disability is another aspect. Nowadays, buildings are required to have regulation ramps and or to be handicap accessible. Taft has a lift and numerous ramps and elevators that allow for physically handicapped people to get around campus. However, we do not often see many mentally handicapped people on campus. How much do we really know about the handicapped community? How often do we interact with mentally and physically disabled individuals? Religion is our last aspect in diversity, and religion is an important form of diversity because it provides direction for individuals. Through religion, people battle with questions pertaining to meaning of life. Within the Taft community, not everyone practices the same beliefs, whether it's Buddhism, Islam, Judaism, Christianity, or no religion at all. And yet, it's actually fascinating how we all coexist. Exposure to different religions is crucial in order to understand people's perspectives. Religion affects our daily lives. Think about the effects it has on our society and government.
So, in summary, there are many different forms of diversity, and we hope that your perspective on diversity was broadened today. If you want to learn more about diversity, engage in thought-provoking conversations in order to empower our differences and acknowledge diversity at Taft, come to UCT, which is United Cultures at Taft. UCT is an avenue for the promotion and learning of diversity. Our first meeting will be this Friday, tomorrow, October 21st at 7:15 in the faculty room. Thank you.
All right, well, good morning, everyone. You guys in the front row, give me a little warning if I'm about to step off the stage and into the orchestra pit here. This is actually a little bit nervous when it makes me a speaker. I'm here this morning to talk to you about Monday, which is going to be our 17th annual Community Service Day. It's going to be, yeah, I know. This will be the third year that I'm coordinating it, and I have to tell you, it really is one of my favorite Taft traditions, and I'll talk to you a little bit about why that's the case. One of the things that makes Taft unique as a school is that in our very motto and our orientation, we put service right at the front, right? Our motto is not to be served, but to serve. And that's an interesting challenge for people in a school because we're saying, we're going to take all the knowledge, the skills, and the talents that you all bring to the table and are developing at the school, and we're not going to focus on using those talents and skills for our own personal improvement, but we're actually going to use those to help serve others. Now, you might think, if that's our motto and that's what we're supposed to be doing all the time, why do we need to call out and have a special day devoted for community service? And I'll tell you, the simple reason for that is that the boarding school lifestyle makes it very difficult to put our motto into practice on a day-to-day basis. When we get to these times of the year when we've just had a holiday and now it's going to be a long time before we have another break, people get very caught up in the daily grind of this place. I talk to students all the time who, they're not really focused on how can I do community service. They're focused on how can I get by the next day on more than 4 hours of sleep? Am I going to be able to take more than a 10-minute lunch so I can get my work done for the afternoon? And this is true even with faculty members. Faculty members are always juggling, how am I going to take care of my kids, get my papers graded, do all the things I need to do. And it doesn't really put you in a good mindset to be able to think about, how can I do some community service on top of that? I'll give you an example from my own personal life. This summer, my wife, Miss Monty, and I, we started up a program in Waterbury where we tutored some local students in how to complete the SSAT. And these are students who are looking to apply to Taft and other private schools in the next year or two. And so we worked on this in July. We asked a number of you, and we had a number of day students who were around for the summer who also volunteered their time to help. And pretty much every weekday during the month of July for 3 hours a day, we put on this program where we tutored the students. And it worked really well. The kids were very enthusiastic. I think we were all pretty happy with how it went. But now that the school year has hit, my wife and I wanted to get the program going again in the fall. And even for us, with all the enthusiasm we have and all the success that we had over the summer, have found it very difficult to keep up the momentum for the program in the fall. If we look at our volunteers from over the summer, these kids who gave up part of their summer to work on the program, really, didn't have to do that, but they decided to. Well, if we look, okay, how many of those students could actually come back and work on the program this fall? Well, the answer is there's only one who signed up for Services as an X. The rest are doing sports, they're working on the play, they're doing other afternoon activities, and they aren't really free to participate in this particular tutoring program. Now, fortunately, we do have some great kids who did sign up for Services in X and are able to keep it going. But, a number of these people who are very dedicated over the summer simply had other things going on during the school year. Same thing for me and my wife. During the fall, my wife is coaching cross country, and even though she wants to spend more time preparing for the program, putting curriculum together, the realities of our other duties here at the school get in the way of that. So I think the great thing about Community Service Day is that for one day during the year, we put academics on hold, we put most athletics on hold, and we just give a day where everyone has the opportunity to focus on service. Even if normally you're a varsity athlete, you're taking 6 classes, you've got other things going on, and you can't really put as much time into it as you would like, okay? Now, some people will say, hey, that's just one day. What are we going to be able to accomplish in one day and in one project? And I have 2 answers to that question. One is that you would be surprised how much we as a group can accomplish in just a single day of service. Every year I get phone calls, I get letters, I get emails from our partners in the community who are incredibly grateful for the work that we are able to accomplish, even in those few hours on one day. And we do a wide range of things, from clearing trails at nature centers, cleaning up yards for elderly people, working with 3rd graders in the school system. And we have a lot of community partners who always have Taft Community Service Day kind of circled on their calendar. And it's an important day for them, and they know they're going to get a lot accomplished using our students as resources. The second point I'll make is that my real hope for you with Community Service Day is that it's not really the only time you're going to be able to do service this year, but it's really an introduction for those of you who maybe don't participate much now. My hope is that when you get out there into the community, you see some of the projects that are available, you get excited about it, and then you look and see, well, what can I do during the rest of the year to get more involved? And the great thing is that even in our difficult schedule, we do have a lot of opportunities for people who want to get involved in service, even if it's with a very small time commitment. For example, if you can free up one Friday night for a couple of hours during the semester, you could volunteer to serve food at the local soup kitchen. And I guarantee you, sometime in your Taft career, if you haven't done this already, you really should go out and do that, because I think it would really open your eyes about different people and different classes in the community if you just work that service line and provide food to the 60 to 100 homeless people who will come in on any given night to that soup kitchen. Other things you can do. You can sign up for volunteering as an X during one of your off seasons if you don't have a primary sport for that season. You could take the service learning class and actually make service part of your regular class schedule and get to go out and learn a lot about what's going on in the community. And finally, even outside of your school day, I was very encouraged when I looked at the recent club registration list at how many clubs had some type of either direct or indirect service orientation in what they did. So even if your regular day is kind of busy, some of the extracurricular opportunities that are out there through clubs may also give you a chance to do some service. So in summary, I hope that Community Service Day for you this year is not the end of your service for the year, but it's actually the beginning, and that you take advantage of some of the opportunities that are out there to serve even in our tight schedules. So I hope you have a wonderful Community Service Day on Monday, and thank you for your time this morning.